Oh my God, Ron, we're gonna need an intro.
Yeah, I
People are
know.
complaining. I
We've
dropped an
been
F bomb.
you did, and people are like, you can't say the F word.
They're like,
I'm like,
that's too spicy.
what's wrong with fart?
I don't know. I don't know, but it stinks and
I
they don't
mean,
like it.
Bill O'Reilly did. He was like, F
I
this. We'll
know.
do this effing live.
And he's a millionaire.
Yeah, he never has to worry about money again. But we said fart, and they're like, I don't want to
But
come on your show.
you know what? Here's all I can say about that is fart it. We're going live in 3, 2, 1. Gentlemen, this is your boy, the liberal loudmouth. And as always, I'm here with
The real Ron always shows up, whether it's at the house, in the studio, or on my piece of shit phone in a
man.
bedroom
You're
in
like the
California.
United Postal Service.
I know, right?
Rain,
It's
snow,
like
or shine, you're out there doing the doing.
I'm there. I'm there when the doing needs done. I'm there.
You
So
got to do the doing.
I'm
So,
over in Tahlequah, everybody. So sorry about the background and everything. Sorry about the shirt. I've been working all day on a shower, but yeah. Go ahead, Tim. Sorry.
yeah, no. So we went early just a little bit because we wanted to get the intros out of the way because the ice cream man's supposed to start talking in about 10 minutes or so. There'll probably be a delay. They have to wheel him out there and let him walk the last 10 feet, I'm sure.
Do you really think he ate ice cream while he was in Israel?
Maybe. I don't know. And
God,
maybe
I hope he did.
I bet
hope
Israeli ice cream is delicious. I bet it's phenomenal.
It's God's ice cream.
It is. It's the chosen ice cream. It's
the chosen.
It's the chosen ice cream. I mean, you can't do better than that. Am I wrong? Am I wrong?
Jesus made ice cream and Mountain Dew, and that's it. That's all he. Yeah.
Right. I mean,
oh my gosh.
Wow. We're starting this off real hard.
Yeah.
So we're going to be streaming the PBS News Hours coverage of this, just because it'll be more neutral, and that's what we're all about.
Well, and when we did the GOP debate, we're going to do another one on November 8th. But when we did the GOP debate, it was one of our most watched shows, and everybody was like, "Please do the second debate." You were working, I was out of touch, whatever. But people love our commentary on these type of things, so I'm excited about Sleepy Joe.
Yeah, old Sleepy Joe. This is either going to be a long one or short one.
Yeah.
No one. I mean, who knows? But this is a big deal, y'all. We're watching like World War III unfold in front of us.
It's going to happen. I really believe it's going to. This is it. This is that little thing right before it kicks off.
Yeah,
right?
I think so. And I think this is going to be the point where Israel finally decides to do their ground invasion. I think that's what they were waiting on. I don't know. Can you check I'm going to check our stream real quick just to make sure it's running. I do show that it's running there. So let me check over here. Okay. And we're live there too. If the quality is bad, it looks like our quality isn't very good. I don't know what that's all about. It should be running at 1080, but who knows?
I can't see any of that shit because I'm on my phone.
Yeah, I'm actually going to pull it up real quick just to see how bad it is.
It looks good to me.
Oh yeah. It's really pixelated. So that's StreamYard. My internet and Ron's internet appears to be working okay. So I don't know what that's all about, but what do you think?
StreamYard has been having some problems. So
a lot of issues. Yeah. I got an email. They were like, "We see that you were having issues with your microphone." It had like removed the microphone. I couldn't even select a microphone. It was weird.
Oh yeah, the other day when I couldn't even pull up my background or anything like that. So
right. Yeah, and we changed the background. This is we got the apocalypse going on.
So good.
Oh, Jeanette says she can hear us both. Thank you for clarifying that. Does it look okay on your end, the quality of the video?
Do I look good?
I mean, I don't know that Facebook or
Stop.
YouTube can
Stop,
help
Jim.
with that.
Stop, Jim. Stop.
No, we got 4 minutes. So, Ron, what do you think the ice cream man's going to tell us?
I think this is my prediction. He's going to tell us that, and we talked about this earlier, and I told you every U.S. president has 90 days to send in ground troops wherever they want. And I think he's going to say, we're sending in U.S. troops to assist Israel in Gaza.
Yeah, we did talk about that. At this point, they're trying to claim that those troops will only be there to give aid and to defend Israel, but who knows? Who knows? They're sending some special ops guys out there from
what do
our
you
end.
think? What do you think he's going to say?
I think he's going to try to play the fence here. I think he's going to say that, Israel has a right to defend itself and we've got to keep the aid going into Gaza. He's going to try to differentiate Palestinians from Hamas because his base generally doesn't agree with the, oppression that Palestinians have been dealing with for the last 75 years. Because, this could really hurt him.
Yeah, and you've sent me pictures all day long of dead infants, like
babies. Yeah.
And I'm like, stop fucking sending me this shit because it's bad. And when I look at them, I can't tell if they're Palestinian or Israel.
They're babies.
They're dead babies.
Right. Bloody dead baby. They're, there are a lot. I've seen kids, like we're talking, 4 or 5 years old, stuck under rubble, people having to pull them out. The parents over there are having to take their children and put them in different locations in case one of the buildings gets bombed so they don't lose both of their kids. I read the other day that 50 entire families have been just completely eliminated. Like mothers, sons, daughters, all the entire family line is now done. Wow. 50. That's wild.
Even in the U.S., like if you're the last son to carry on the family name, they don't send you to war because you have to carry on the family name in the United States. Did you know that?
Yes. Yeah. Saving Private Ryan. That's what that was all about.
Yeah, that's what the whole
And I gotta say, Jeanette said you always look good. So I know she ain't talking about me. So that's for you, Ron.
You should probably see me laying down naked.
Oh,
I'm
man.
sorry, Jeanette. I'm sorry, Jeanette.
I don't even want to see that. I'd rather see Joe Biden talk to me for an hour.
I bet that would probably be the better choice.
That's pretty bad. So yeah, we should have people showing up now at 7 o'clock. I'm checking the stream.
Do you think he's going to be on time though?
No,
they're never on time.
Yeah, I don't know that many presidents are ever on time.
Ronald Reagan was.
Oh, yeah, he was on time to destroy everything.
I'm
gonna pull this up here. Can you see it?
Let me see what's going on.
No, I gotta add it to the stage. There we go.
I love that background picture though. Good job on that.
Here we go. This may be it. Let me.
Oh, it's coming. Oh, he's going to announce. I know he's going to announce. Oh, my God.
And here we go. To this PBS News special report, President Biden's address to the nation. I'm Amna Nawaz.
And I'm Jeff Bennett. Nearly 2 weeks ago, Hamas terrorists attacked Israel with deadly surprise raids. Israel has responded with unrelenting air strikes.
Israel knows because they let them.
Since then, the violence has escalated and the death toll has mounted, with more than 5,000 killed on both sides.
President Biden has just returned from a trip to Israel. He was also scheduled to meet in Jordan with its leader, King Abdullah, as well as with the leaders of the Palestinian Authority and of Egypt. But after an explosion at a hospital in Gaza and conflicting reports of who was to blame, Palestinian officials pointing to the Israelis, U.S. and Israeli officials saying intelligence shows the rocket came from Gaza, that Jordan summit was scuttled.
Tonight, President Biden is expected to speak about the U.S. response to this war and the other war that has been a global focus for nearly 2 years, the war in Ukraine. But first, to President Biden speaking from the Oval Office.
Let's do this.
We're going to have President Biden in just a moment, and he'll be speaking from the Oval Office.
He may be.
Right now.
No.
Oh, wow. Oh, it's in the Oval Office.
Oh, shit.
Good evening, my fellow Americans. We're facing an inflection point in history. One of those moments where the decisions we make today are going to determine the future for decades to come. That's what I'd like to talk with you about tonight. You know, early this morning, I returned from Israel. They tell me I'm the first American president to travel there during the war. I met with the prime minister and members of his cabinet. And most movingly, I met with Israelis who had personally lived through horrific horror of the attack by Hamas on the 7th of October. More than 1,300 people slaughtered in Israel, including at least 32 American citizens.
I think you're right,
Scores
Nadine.
of innocents, from infants to the elderly grandparents, Israelis, Americans taken hostage. As I told the families of Americans being held captive by Hamas, we're pursuing every avenue to bring their loved ones home. As president, there is no higher priority for me than the safety of Americans held hostage. The terrorist group Hamas unleashed pure, unadulterated evil in the world. But sadly, the Jewish people know perhaps better than anyone that there is no limit to the depravity of people when they want to inflict pain on others. In Israel, I saw people who were strong, determined, resilient, and also angry, in shock and in deep, deep pain. I also spoke with President Abbas, the Palestinian Authority, and reiterated that the United States remains committed to the Palestinian people's right to dignity and to self-determination. The actions of Hamas terrorists don't take that right away. Like so many other, I'm heartbroken by the tragic loss of Palestinian life, including the explosion at the hospital in Gaza, which was not done by the Israelis. We mourn every innocent life lost. We can't ignore the humanity of innocent Palestinians who only want to live in peace and have an opportunity.
Ride that fence, Joe.
The assault on Israel echoes nearly 20 months of war, tragedy, and brutality inflicted on the people of Ukraine, people that were very badly hurt since Putin launched his all-out invasion. We've not forgotten the mass graves, the bodies found bearing signs of torture, rape used as a weapon by the Russians, and thousands of Ukrainian children forcibly taken into Russia, stolen from their parents. It's sick. Hamas and Putin represent different threats, but they share this in common. They both want to completely annihilate a neighboring democracy, completely annihilate it. Hamas' stated purpose for existing is the destruction of the state of Israel and the murder of Jewish people. Right. Hamas does not represent the Palestinian people. Hamas uses Palestinian civilians as human shields, and innocent Palestinian families are suffering greatly because of them. Meanwhile, Putin denies Ukraine has or ever had real statehood. He claims the Soviet Union created Ukraine. And just 2 weeks ago,
what you're gonna say, Joe.
He told the world that if the United States and our allies withdraw, and if the United States withdraw, our allies will as well, military support for Ukraine would have, quote, a week left to live, but we're not withdrawing. I know these conflicts can seem far away, and it's natural to ask, why does this matter to America? So let me share with you why making sure Israel and Ukraine succeed is vital for America's national security. You know, history has taught us that when terrorists don't pay a price for their terror, when dictators don't pay a price for their aggression, they cause more chaos and death and more destruction. They keep going, and the cost and the threats to America and the world keep rising. So if we don't stop Putin's appetite for power and control in Ukraine, he won't limit himself just to
He's trying
Ukraine.
to couple these two things.
Putin's already threatened to remind Poland that their Western land was a gift from Russia. One of his top advisors, the former president of Russia, has called
trying to
Estonia,
combine
Latvia,
these two
Lithuania,
wars.
Russia's Baltic provinces. These are all NATO allies. For 75 years, NATO has kept peace in Europe and has been the cornerstone of American security. And if Putin attacks a NATO ally, we will defend every inch of NATO which the treaty requires.
Oh my God.
We'll have something that we do not seek make it clear we do not seek to have American troops fighting in Russia or fighting against Russia.
You've always been a warmonger, Joe.
We know that our
Tim.
allies, and maybe most importantly, our adversaries and competitors, are watching. They're watching our response in Ukraine as well. And if we walk away and let Putin erase Ukraine's independence, would-be aggressors around the world would be emboldened to try the same. The risk of conflict and chaos could spread in other parts of the world, in the Indo-Pacific, in the Middle East, especially.
As if this won't cause that.
Iran is supporting Russia's in Ukraine, and it's supporting Hamas and other terrorist groups in the region, and will continue to hold them accountable, I might add. The United States and our partners across the region are working to build a better future for the Middle East. One where the Middle East is more stable, better connected to its neighbors, and through innovative projects like the India-Middle East Europe Rail Corridor that I announced this year at the summit of the world's biggest economies. More predictable markets, more employment, less rage, less grievances, less war when connected.
Less war.
Less what? People would benefit the people of the Middle East and would benefit us. American leadership is what holds the world together.
Wow.
American alliances are what keep us, America, safe. American values are what make us a partner that other nations want to work with.
Oh my God.
To put all that at risk, if we walk away from Ukraine, we turn our backs on Israel, it's just not worth it. That's why tomorrow I'm going to send to Congress an urgent budget request to fund America's national security needs, to support our critical partners, including Israel and Ukraine.
$100 million.
Investment that's going to
or
pay
$100
dividends
billion.
for American security for generations. Help us keep American troops out of harm's way. Help us build a world that is safer, more peaceful, more prosperous for our children and grandchildren. In Israel, we must make sure that they have what they need to protect their people today and always. The security package I'm sending to Congress and asking Congress to do is an unprecedented commitment to Israel's security that will sharpen Israel's qualitative military edge, which we've committed to, the qualitative military edge. We're going to make sure Iron Dome continues to guard the skies over Israel. We're going to make sure other hostile actors in the region know that Israel is stronger than ever and prevent this conflict from spreading. Look, at the same time, President Netanyahu and I discussed again yesterday the critical need for Israel to operate by the laws of war. That means protecting civilians in combat as best as they can. The people of Gaza urgently need food, water, and medicine. Yesterday, in discussions with the leaders of Israel and Egypt,
not the people of Gaza.
I secured an agreement for the first shipment of humanitarian assistance from the United Nations to Palestinian civilians in Gaza. If Hamas does not divert or steal these shipments, we're going to provide an opening for sustained delivery of life-saving humanitarian assistance for the Palestinians. As I said in Israel, as hard as it is, we cannot give up on peace. We cannot give up on a two-state solution. Israel and Palestinians equally deserve to live in safety, dignity, and peace. You know, and here at home, we have to be honest with ourselves.
We were wrong. He's
asking. In recent years,
money.
Too much hate has given too much oxygen, fueling racism, the rise of anti-Semitism, Islamophobia, right here in America. It's also intensified in the wake of recent events that led to the horrific threats and attacks that both shock us and break our hearts. On October 7th, terror attacks have triggered deep scars and terrible memories in the Jewish community. Today, Jewish families worried about being targeted in school.
Welcome, Nadine.
Wearing symbols of their face, walking down the street, or going out about their daily lives.
What's up, Nadine?
And I know many of you in the Muslim American community, the Arab American community, the Palestinian American community, and so many others are outraged and hearty, saying to yourselves, here we go again.
Here we go again.
Islamophobia and distrust.
And again and again and again.
Just last week, a mother was brutally stabbed. A little boy here in the United States, a little boy who just turned 6 years old was murdered in their home outside of Chicago.
Stabbed him 26 times.
Was Wadia.
26 times?
Yep.
26 times, yeah.
A proud Palestinian American family. We can't stand by and stand silent when this happens. We must, without equivocation, denounce anti-Semitism. We must also, without
Wait.
equivocation, denounce Islamophobia.
Okay, there we go.
And to all
There,
you
okay,
heard,
yeah,
those of you heard,
I cleaned that
I
up.
want you to know, I see you. You belong. And I want to say this to you. You're all America. You're all America. This is in a moment, in moments like these, when fear and suspicion, anger and rage run hard, we have to work harder than ever to hold on to the values that make us who we are. We're a nation of religious freedom, freedom of expression.
But Israel isn't, Joe.
And disagree.
No, it
Without
isn't.
fear of being targeted in schools or workplaces or in our communities. I must renounce violence and vitriol. See each other not as enemies, but as fellow Americans. When I was in Israel yesterday, I said that when America experienced the hell of 9/11, we felt enraged as well. While we sought and got justice, we made mistakes. So I caution the government of Israel not to be blinded by rage. And here in America, let us not forget who we are.
But you're supporting that
we
rage,
reject
Joe.
all forms.
Hey,
He sure is.
All forms of hate.
Tim,
whether
Nadine,
against
y'all voted
Muslim,
for this
Jews, or
bitch.
anyone. That's
I
what
did
great
not.
nations do.
You didn't
And
vote for
we
Biden.
are a great nation.
Nope.
On Ukraine, I'm asking Congress to make sure we can continue to send Ukraine the weapons
I
they
didn't
need to
vote for
defend
Hillary.
themselves and their country without interruption.
Good on you. That's
So
yeah.
Ukraine
Good
can
on
stop Putin's brutality in Ukraine.
you. What does
They are
fucking
succeeding.
Putin have to do with
When Putin
Israel?
invaded
Because
Ukraine,
he's
he
trying to
threatened
tie
take
it all
Kyiv.
together so he could
All
get
of
a
Ukraine in a
giant
matter of
package
days.
for money so
Well,
that
over a
they
year
can
later,
send it to
Putin has
Ukraine.
failed,
But here's
and he
the fun fact.
continues to fail.
Because the
Kyiv
Republicans
still stands
are
because of the bravery
fucking
of
wandering in the
Ukrainian people.
desert, he can
Ukraine has
send
regained more than 50%
puppies and
of the
rainbows for
territory
everybody, but
Russian
there's
troops
no
once occupied,
Congress. The House
backed by
is shut
U.S.-led
down
coalition
until
of more
Jim
than
Jordan
50
says,
countries
okay, you
around
don't
the
want me to be
world,
speaker, and they
all
elect
agreeing
somebody
to
that the
participate
moderates
in
can
Kyiv.
get some Democrats on
What
board
would
with.
happen if we walked
They are
away?
letting the House be run by a
We want to be
bunch
a
of
secure
fucking
nation.
fascists.
Meanwhile, Putin has turned to Iran and North
Hang
Korea
on, we're fixing
to
to
buy attack
introduce you,
drones
Nadine. Hang on, it
and
was
ammunition
great.
to terrorize
Hang on.
Ukrainian cities and
I
people.
can hardly hear
Well,
this.
From the
we'll
outset,
talk
I've
about
said
it after,
I will not send American
because now
troops
he's
to fight
bringing in
Ukraine.
Russia and North
All
Korea.
Ukraine is asking for is help for the weapons,
so
munitions,
ignorant. Oh my
capacity,
God.
the capability to push invading Russian forces off their land and the air defense system to shoot down Russian missiles before they destroy Ukrainian cities. Let me be clear about something. We send Ukrainian equipment sitting in our stockpiles. And when we use the money allocated by Congress, we use it to replenish our own stores, our own stockpiles with new equipment. Equipment that defends America and is made in America. Patriot missiles for air defense batteries, made in Arizona. Artillery shells manufactured in 12 states across the country, in Pennsylvania, Ohio, Texas, and so much more. You know, just as in World War II, today patriotic American workers are building the arsenal of democracy and serving the cause of freedom. Let me close with this. Earlier this year, I boarded Air Force One for a secret flight to Poland. There I boarded a train with blacked out windows for a 10-hour ride each way to Kyiv to stand with the people of Ukraine ahead of the one-year anniversary of their brave fight against Putin.
Joe.
I'm told I was the first American to enter a war zone not controlled by the United States military since President Lincoln.
Have you been to
With
North
me
Tulsa, Joe?
was just a small group of security personnel and a few advisors. But when I exited that train and met President Zelensky, I didn't feel alone. I was bringing with me the idea of America, the promise of America, to the people who are today fighting for the same things we fought for 250 years ago: freedom, independence, self-determination.
They have freedom and
about the
independence
freedom
in
of
Ukraine. Shut
Palestinians?
up.
Air raid sirens sounding in the distance. I felt something I've always believed, more strongly than ever before. America is a beacon to the world.
Except for Palestinians.
Shut your hope.
Yeah,
shut your
except for
hope
the
Or
about
as my friend
Palestinians.
Madeleine Albright
They
said,
don't deserve
the
independence
indispensable
or
nation.
respect or dignity.
Tonight, there are innocent people all over the world who hope because of us, who believe in a better life because of us, who are desperate not to be forgotten by us, and are waiting for us. But time is of the essence.
God.
I know we have our divisions at home. We have to get past them. We can't let petty, partisan, angry politics get in the way of our responsibilities as a great nation. We
So it's just
cannot and
about
will not
money.
let
It's
terrorists
just
like
about money.
Hamas and tyrants like Putin win.
Yeah, well, the House has
refuse
got to
to
get
let
their
that
shit
happen.
together first before they
In
can do
moments like
anything.
these, we have to remind
Can't pass
remember who
anything
we
without
are.
a speaker.
We're the United
Right.
States
Nothing.
of America. The United States of America. And there is nothing beyond our capacity if we do it together. My fellow Americans, thank you for your time. May God bless you
that
all.
was a waste of my
May God
fucking
protect our
oxygen.
troops.
God damn.
Well,
President Biden there delivering
Oh,
an address to
Joe,
the
you
American
disappoint
public
me
from
again.
the Oval.
when does he not though?
He was a
Let's
better
talk about
senator.
this. Let's introduce
He was a
Nadine
shit.
to everybody.
He was shit then. He was shit now. I
No,
told
he was a
people-
good senator for Delaware. He was a really good senator for Delaware.
No,
Yeah,
he was a piece
he
of
helped those
shit,
credit card
Nadine.
companies
Stop.
out real big. He loved them credit
Oh
card
yeah,
companies.
he was a piece
I
of
don't know
shit,
why I
Nadine.
can't hear you guys hardly at all.
Oh, can you not?
It's very quiet.
Are you on a phone?
I'm on my phone, yeah.
Okay, let me see if I can do something real quick. I can edit your mic settings. Well, no, it wouldn't be that. Let's see. Yeah, I don't know. I mean,
Okay,
You know, the
Nadine.
thing that galls me the most is that we have been providing cover for Israel with the Security Council for 60 years.
yep.
You're right.
And when the entire rest of the world comes to the United Nations and says, these people are fucking committing genocide, the United States says, nope, pay no attention to the man behind the curtain. And here we are. And if you bother to look into history and politics of terrorism, and there is politics in terrorism, it's not just crazy people blowing shit up because they feel like it. There is ideological terrorism, which is Osama bin Laden. He didn't like that Saudi Arabia was friends with the United States, and nothing you can do is going to stop that. But then there is political terrorism for people who are, I have always said, and I learned in school, that rioting is the voice of the voiceless, and terrorism is the weapon of the voiceless. They do not have a government. They do not have a military. They are not allowed to have a government. They are not allowed to have a military. And guess how they express themselves? They blow shit up.
Right. That's all they can do.
That's all they can do. They can strap bombs to their bodies. They can throw whatever weapon somebody's willing to give them, and their children can throw rocks and then get subsequently murdered.
Yeah, those rockets they're making out of like steel piping.
Yeah.
These are homemade rockets.
Yeah.
So they want to kill all of the Israelis. How the fuck are they going to do that? How are they going to do
this
that?
Israeli thing of it was such a surprise? I don't know. I'm telling you that Bibi Netanyahu knew this was coming and he let it fucking happen so that he could all of his legal problems, because he's got just as many legal problems as Trump does.
Yeah. And
then it would it'll be more pay no attention to the man behind the curtain. We're having a war.
And they've been protesting him for months.
Yes.
And what are they not doing now? They're not protesting about the Supreme Court decision, because if you aren't aware, they were trying to get it where the parliament with a simple majority could overrule a Supreme Court decision, which would effectively make Benjamin Netanyahu an authoritarian dictator if he controlled over 50% of the parliament, which he does.
Well, I'm sorry, Ron, but I'm going to say this and I'm going to mean it. This is what the new conservative politics looks like: authoritarianism.
No, it is.
And I'll say this: somebody told me today, they're like, "Thank you for coming more to the middle and not being so conservative and so Republican, because we have to come to the middle. We have to figure this out." Because otherwise, it's just going to be genocide for everybody.
What's up, Lane?
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's gross to me what's going on. I mean, when people look back at what they just, I don't know, they're like, well, that happened so many years ago. We're just going to ignore all of the atrocities that were committed against Palestinians when the Zionists showed up there. We're just, that doesn't matter.
Can I say this, Nadine?
What?
Nadine teaches your children.
Yes, I do.
In
are
Oklahoma.
You are still teaching, right?
Yes, I am.
And I'm so glad that she is teaching our children, because Nadine, I love Nadine. She has been on our show before. She is always active. We have went back and forth. We don't always agree, but she will have the conversations that people won't fucking have.
Lane says, I don't think anyone is trying to move to authoritarianism. They absolutely are, Lane. And I'll give you some perspective, and Nadine can probably offer even more. All of my life, I've watched this incremental move towards this authoritarian where the president has just all of this power. And I've watched these political parties go further away from the middle and to this authoritarianism. That's where we're going. That is absolutely where it's going. Like Benjamin,
absolutely.
For an example, imagine if the House, if the U.S. Congress could override a Supreme Court decision with half of the votes. Imagine that.
I know. It's crazy, but that's where we're going.
What are your
and the problem is because the extreme conservatism of the people like Jim Jordan in the Freedom Caucus is so far right
Freedom Caucus.
that the only way you could get it passed is by forcing it through. Then that's a problem. If that's how you can govern, then your ideas are not what the people want.
Yeah.
And ultimately, we come to the bottom line is we have a representative government. You're supposed to represent the people. And a lot of these people are not doing it.
No. And they have always, Noam Chomsky gave a great speech. And
I love Noam Chomsky.
Yeah, I couldn't save it, but he was basically like, governments all across the world, they always disregard the people. It doesn't matter what the people have ever wanted. If you don't have money, power, and control, you don't matter.
Because that's what it's about. It's about money and it's about power.
Right. And he was relating that specifically to the Palestinian people. He was like, there's nobody that can use the Palestinians to advance their own objectives because Palestinians have no power, they have no money, they have no control. Therefore, they're useless to the governments around the world. That's why the governments will come out and say, oh, we support Palestine, or the people will say, but they won't actually do anything. So we'll see what happens now, because I think you and I have seen this before where other groups have come out and said, well, if you do this, we're going to attack. And they just never really did.
Okay. Hang on. Wait. It's absolutely about money, but I'm talking to atheist Tim.
Atheist Nadine.
Oh, are you an atheist?
Yeah, absolutely. What do you mean? Absolutely. Yeah. But it's about religion. It's about a book that was written 2,000 years ago. It's prophecy. This is why Christians are supporting Israel, to make sure that their fantasy, their fairy tale comes to life.
Yeah. I mean, it's really
yes
looking like that.
Yes or no?
Yes, absolutely.
It's wild to me that we're even like in 2023 having this conversation, religion's on the decline. People are starting to, when science can explain all of these things in a factual way, you don't need the mythology anymore. You don't need those fairy tales, those, it came out and there was the rainbow and, bullshit. But it is what it is. And unfortunately, it's inevitable, I think, at this point that that Israel goes into Palestine with boots on the ground, and they have already said that when we're done, Palestine or Gaza will be smaller than it was when we started.
Absolutely, but they're not going to let any people out, so they're going to be just as many people jammed to a tighter thing. And what happens when you put desperate people, in a tighter quarters than they already were? It's going to get worse because the Zionists in the 1800s who campaigned for Israel when they were offered Uganda, that they were offered a whole country, and they said no, thank you. They wanted Palestine.
Who had offered it?
The League of Nations offered them Uganda.
So this would have been like right before the turn of the century then.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like
because Herzl wrote your Judenstadt or whatever in like 1898, wasn't it?
Yeah. And the thing that I admire about Palestinian people above anything else is if you could make the same thing happen in this country, if some third party gave away half this country to another group of people, and 75 years later, fast forward, the people that live in the United States have the attention span of gnats. And they would be pledging allegiance to whatever flag was offered to them, as long as they could, still get their Starbucks and still get Netflix, and if they have really good internet. And the Palestinian people are still fighting for their country almost 100 years later.
Right. Yeah, they're, because people are like, well, the Native Americans, that's like, well, we accepted our lot in life, and we have since found our own places. Now we have our own governments and stuff like that. So the parallel isn't quite the same, because Palestinians have none of that. And a lot of people don't know this, but Israel created Hamas as a response to Yasser Arafat.
Absolutely.
He was popular, so they funded these religious fanatics. And now look where we're at today. So,
and then look at Egypt on the southern end of Gaza will not let those people in, because the Egyptians made a deal with Jimmy Carter that as long as they do not participate against Israel in any kind of action, they get dollar for dollar. Every dime that we give to Israel, we give the same amount of money to Egypt.
Shut your fucking mouth.
I didn't know that.
Yes.
I didn't know that.
Prove that, Nadine.
Let me see.
That was the oh God, Accords. It was Jimmy Carter.
Egypt, Israel, Carter.
Shut your mouth.
Let's see if I can find this out.
Shut your mouth.
How Jimmy Carter brokered a hard-won peace deal between Israel and Egypt. Carter showed.
But look at the money.
That's how he did that? That's how he did it?
Yeah.
Let's see.
Because Egypt continued. Egypt, they had the Sinai. They had the Sinai Peninsula.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So they got the Sinai. Egypt got the Sinai back. And they had to agree not to do any.
Met with President Jimmy Carter.
Let me see. Withdrawal of the 6-day war. Yeah, I'm gonna have to research this, because I had never.
That's it. The Camp David Accords. That's it.
We'll look at the events leading up to the Accords.
Camp David Accords
of the agreement.
I remember that.
And their impact.
And includes provisions that the U.S. provides both countries with billions of dollars in military and economic aid.
In 1947, the United Nations voted to divide the British-controlled Palestinian territories into two
While
countries.
Carter had good intentions and wanted to help Palestinians, his policies in support of Camp David agreements set them back quite a bit. What a fucking mess.
Immediately broke out between what would become Israel
that is insane.
And a military coalition of Arab states.
So if Congress approves, a stimulus package or whatever
whatever Israel gets, Egypt gets the same.
And they don't have to approve it because it was already approved.
It's already a deal.
So if they're like, okay, we're going to give $2 billion to Israel, and they publicize that, what they don't tell you is that they actually also gave $2 billion to Egypt as well.
Absolutely.
And they never
the Arab states neighboring Israel.
Can you?
Well, you got to turn off your video.
Israel had expanded.
What video?
You're playing a video.
I muted it.
Was a great.
I can hear it.
Okay. There we go. There.
Okay. Yeah, that's better.
Okay. Sorry about that. Yeah, I muted the tab. I guess it doesn't. It doesn't work through StreamYard that way. This is crazy to me.
And a lot of people don't know that. A lot of people are not familiar with that.
Yeah, I'd never heard that. I'm glad you brought that up.
And a lot of people are saying, well, why doesn't Egypt open the gates and let the people from Gaza? Because Egypt will do nothing to piss off Israel, because then they lose all their money.
Here's the thing.
That's so right.
They use this as a cudgel to say that the Palestinian people are terrorists.
Yeah.
Egypt won't even let them in because they know that they're terrorists. And now I know why they won't let them in, because they're going to lose out on billions of dollars. That means they get $4 billion every year, because that's what we send.
Yes, absolutely.
Oh my God.
And look at this. What the hell does Israel need $4 billion for? They have a great economy. They've got a great country. That I don't understand.
Like the fourth largest economy in the world.
Jesus. That's
shit.
upsetting. That's really
and the thing that this is what I wrote my thesis about. I did research for 5 years on this. on how Israel is in violation of international law every single day. The partition of Palestine created a Jewish section and an Arab section. And remember that Arab doesn't mean Muslim.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Arab, you could be a Jewish Arab, you could be a Christian Arab. It was divided up. Palestine was partitioned to be a Jewish section and an Arab section. And the very next day, Israel popped up and declared themselves an independent state, which was never the intention of the UN.
Right.
They were not creating a Jewish state. They were partitioning Palestine into two sections that would have its own, they would have a government together. And that never happened because Israel declared themselves an independent state. And the United States didn't recognize Israel for a while.
Yeah, it was what, after 2000, wasn't it?
No, it was later, but it was not. I think FDR was it FDR? FDR was pressured into it. Or was it Eisenhower? I'm not sure. It was Eisenhower, but it not from when they declared their independence, because the world said, "What the fuck are you doing?"
Right. And I got to pull this up. This is from that time period. The Haganah and the Irgun, they ended up becoming what would be the IDF. Right here, when they came out, Jews indiscriminately massacred civilians, old men, women, and children of all ages. They bayoneted pregnant women. They cut kids to pieces before their eyes. They took pictures of all of this stuff as a terror campaign to scare the shit out of the Palestinians. And it worked because what was it? 300,000 to 500,000 Palestinians ended up just getting the hell out of there.
They just ran away to Jordan, and they're still living in refugee camps in Jordan.
Right, refugee concentration
because these people still want to go home to their native land. You're talking about families that have lived on the same piece of land for 500, 600 years, and they're still wanting to go back. And Israel will never allow them the right of return, because then they lose their Jewish majority in the Knesset, and they can't have that because they're a democracy, but they're a theocracy. And if they lose the Jewish majority, then they got nothing.
And
so there will never be a single state solution, and they will not permit a two-state solution because they have taken most of the West Bank with settlements.
Right. That's why somebody was like, "Oh, they call them settlers. That's so racist." I'm like, that's literally what they are. They go and settle Palestinian areas.
They kick people out. You can find videos of old Palestinian women saying, "You are stealing my house."
Right. Yeah.
And they're like, "Well, if I don't steal it, someone else will."
Stop.
All right, go ahead, Ron.
Tim, Nadine, let me ask y'all this. What is the solution?
In my opinion, the solution is because at this point, Israel's not going away. That's not going to happen. You have to go back to the original UN resolution, and you give the 45% back to Palestinian people, and you give the 55% to Israel, and you say you don't touch it from here.
I always said that I would like to be elected president. I would only last 6 months because I would be impeached or murdered. But my first thing that I would do is I would call the prime minister of Israel, and I would say, "Here's the deal. The green line is still the legally recognized border of Israel. You have 6 months. But in 6 months, the United States Marine are going to stand shoulder to shoulder on the green line. And if you are in Palestine, you will be issued a Palestinian passport. If you are in Israel, you will be issued an Israeli passport. And that's where it's going to be. And then we're going to build a big fucking wall. And anybody who crosses that wall is in violation."
Just done.
Yeah.
But they won't do it. Nobody will do it.
No, and let me show
you.
And
you can't get elected into politics in this country if you don't have the support of AIPAC.
Right.
And it doesn't matter if you're a Republican or a Democrat. If you don't support the Jewish PAC, you don't get elected.
Cynthia McKinney railed about this quite a bit, and they got rid of her ass.
Yeah.
I want to put this up. This is the goal for Israel.
Really?
That line right there.
No,
that is
if
you look Jordan. At the Bible, correct.
That's in Jordan.
If you read the Bible, this is the land that they would have.
No.
And it is my opinion that the moment that they have taken Gaza and the West Bank and dealt with the Palestinian issue, they're going to find some outhouse that Abraham once had in Iraq, and they're going to call it the Holy Shit Land, and they're going to go and take it. And the U.S. will, I mean, that's conspiracy. I haven't heard anybody say that, but these are really, really fervent religious people. And that is the outline of what is talked about in the Bible, the covenant between, Abraham and God.
Because we always use the Bible for political boundaries.
Right. Well, I mean, that's what they did in the 40s. That they have some kind of claim.
People over in the Middle East, they're raised on war. That's all they know is war. War, the Bible, war, the Quran, the Bible. War. This is it's never going to end.
Well, things in the Middle East used to be a lot better in the 60s in other nations like Beirut, Iraq, Iran. They were,
look at what they say about Hezbollah. Hezbollah popped up. Hezbollah kept being attacked by Israel
in Lebanon.
And then Hezbollah really basically is a militia of Lebanon, because also they were not allowed to have an army. And I don't believe they do still have an army. Hezbollah is basically the army of Lebanon.
Right. It would be like,
but now we've declared them to be terrorists, so they're terrorists.
Yeah, I was going to say, Nadine, Hezbollah is terrorists. We can't allow terrorists.
See, that word gets tossed around way too much. Like once somebody once said, one man's terrorist is another man's freedom fighter. It would be like the hillbillies in the Ozarks of Arkansas or some shit, where they all, somebody tries to invade or whatever. These hillbillies are going to come out there and start taking care of business. That's what they're doing. Israel invaded Lebanon twice at least.
Yep.
And after the second time, that's when Hezbollah came to be, because they were like, you know what, we're not going to do that anymore. So, and the claim was that they were chasing after, Palestinians. It was the PLO, I think, at the time, because I don't think Hamas at that second one had been created just yet.
All right, hang on a second. I have to change my clothes.
Okay. Well, are you going to be live doing it?
No, I'm not going to be live doing it.
Okay.
So
anyway, Hezbollah, like Hamas, I think Hezbollah is like the American Revolutionary. Like, hey, we're standing up, we're fighting.
Absolutely, that's what Hezbollah is.
Right. That's America. America, we got to keep our Second Amendment. That's what Hezbollah is. They're like the armed ability of the civilians to do something. That'd be like, during the Revolutionary War, they would have been the rebels. They're the rebels because there was no standing military.
You have every politician in the United States, like on that thread the other day, Nadine and I were on there. I was like, Mark McBride, he was like, got to stand with Israel because I've been to Israel one time.
So what? I've been to Canada. That doesn't make me a maple leaf.
Right.
Brown sugar.
Exactly.
No, so, and look, in my opinion, what happened to the Jews was just absolutely intolerable for the world, or intolerable for the world, and the world said no, and they did something about it. But there are so many groups of people that are treated in similar ways that the Jews were treated during the Holocaust. Yet we don't carve out countries for these people.
Look at what happened in Rwanda.
Right.
We didn't give those people a country.
Rwanda.
Right. All over the place. These atrocities are occurring and nobody cares because there's no religious text that says, hey.
Right. Nobody gives a shit about Rwanda.
But the problem is that when people talk about, we have a biblical, historical, and my argument has always been this, especially from a political science when I was in graduate school, the international law does not operate on a historic right to title. You don't get to say, well, that used to be my house, so get the fuck out. That's not the way title works. That's not the way land movement works anymore.
Jeanette is saying that we're all frozen.
Frozen. We're cruising for a bruising.
Yeah, tell us when it comes back, because to us, I can see each of my co-hosts on here just fine. I don't.
Yeah, I can hear everything fine. It's probably Warner fucking internet.
Now I don't know.
But too many people just believe what the news tells them. Like NBC said it, Fox said it, so it must be true. And the Bible, look what the Bible says. These are the chosen people. First of all, just because the Bible says something doesn't mean anything, because I could read Greek mythology and tell you all kinds of crazy shit, but that's one religious book. Here's another religious book. They're both insane.
Nadine.
Like the smartest caveman invented God, and here we are 20,000 years later.
Right. Tim and I have been talking about this for weeks. Just because a book says something that somebody wrote, it doesn't mean it's science.
And that's assuming what's in the Bible is what was actually written.
Yeah.
I have no way to prove that that's the case. We just take the word for it. But
the Bible is the only thing that you can use as evidence for itself.
Right. Right.
Thank you. So, yes.
And speaking about the news, what boggles my mind is that conservatives generally don't trust the news. I don't either. They'll do mental gymnastics and create these crazy conspiracy, like Pizzagate, for example. They'll just make shit up.
I'm conservative, Republican. Yeah, I don't trust the news. Yeah,
right. But then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, they're behind the Democratic president. They're behind everything that has been stated on the mainstream media, and they do it unquestioningly. It's like we're living in the Twilight Zone, y'all.
If you want to get real information about Israel and Palestine, you have to watch the BBC and you have to listen to Al Jazeera. And the real shame of it is this, is that we walk around with our news media trying to convince us that the whole world supports Israel, and nothing could be further from the truth.
Hang on. Take a breath, Nadine. You're listening to Al Jazeera?
It's a great outlet.
Al Jazeera,
I was told in the 90s, Al Jazeera was the devil.
Well, I mean, yeah, but by a bunch of racists, I'm sure. Al Jazeera has been a very neutral.
They
shut the fuck up. Really?
Yes. There's Al Jazeera has a podcast.
Yeah, if you go and look up stuff, because so here's an example. Al Jazeera did a video, which, matter of fact, I believe I still have it. Let me see if I still have it.
Didn't they post Americans getting beheaded or some shit?
I may have. Hold on. I may have deleted it.
Ron, you are right that Al Jazeera went a little bit more mainstream. They used to be a pretty outlandish news source, but
yeah.
But now they are absolutely 100% credible and much more unbiased than any news I've seen.
Why did Amanda block me?
I forget why. She told me and I don't remember really.
Really? Okay.
I honestly, I don't remember. If I remembered, I would tell you.
I know you would. I love Amanda.
Yeah, here we go. I'm going to restore that. I've got this clip from Al Jazeera. They did an investigative report into.
Oh, you're going to get us fucking banned on YouTube.
Oh,
no, you won't. Al Jazeera is on YouTube. They have their own channel.
Well, I said I restored it, but then now I can't find it. What the hell? Here it is.
Al Jazeera?
I mean, I watch everything. I don't watch live TV news. I haven't watched live TV news for years.
Oh, it's fucking dumb.
And here's the thing. And this, I suggest everybody do this. If you hear something from any station, go and look and double check.
Absolutely.
There's
100%.
no reason to just, even Al Jazeera or BBC, double check that shit, because right now propaganda is crazy. It is.
Well, look at the propaganda
crazy.
that they beheaded babies, but nobody can find any evidence. But
None.
people are still hanging their hat on that.
Tim said that.
Right.
He's like, we're talking about beheading 40 babies.
About the Al Ahli Arab Hospital massacre.
here it is.
Hold on. It auto started playing. Finish what you were saying.
Okay.
What you were saying, Ron? You were saying something.
Tim was like, they're beheading babies, but nobody can find video of it.
Right. There was.
You can't even find a picture of a beheaded baby because there aren't any.
In the picture that they offered, that Ben Shapiro, Genocide Ben, as I call him, that picture was of like this charred remains of something, but you couldn't tell what it was.
Yeah, it could have been anything.
You couldn't tell what it was. There was no way to discern whether it was a Palestinian baby or any other baby.
Or a dog.
Right.
Or a plastic baby.
Or just,
I mean, I could have went in my backyard and did that. Yeah.
Yeah. So let me play this. There is actually a better clip than this one that's just Al Jazeera, but I can't find it.
This is Al Jazeera. I can see the logo.
No. There was another one that was just the investigation.
Listen, I'm Republican. I can't watch Al Jazeera. Go ahead.
Yes, you can.
So just listen.
What do we know about the Al Ahli Arab Hospital massacre? Al Jazeera has verified a timeline of events of how news of this massacre unfolded across social media. On Tuesday, 17th October at around 6:59 p.m., a massive explosion ripped through the Al Ahli Arab Hospital in Gaza. This video, filmed from outside the hospital, captures the first sounds of ordnance whirring through the air and the subsequent explosions. Almost immediately, multiple eyewitnesses take to social media to describe the scenes of a massacre with hundreds of bodies scattered in the aftermath. Many images are too graphic to broadcast. At 8:23 p.m., the Israeli Prime Minister's social media advisor, Hanania Naftali, celebrated the bombing by saying Israeli Air Force struck a Hamas terrorist base inside a hospital in Gaza. A multiple number of terrorists are dead. He then deleted the tweet. The Israeli army were quick to deny having anything to do with the attack on the hospital and tweeted, the Palestinian Islamic Jihad terrorist organization is responsible for the failed shooting that hit the hospital. Along with the tweet, they posted CCTV footage reportedly confirming rockets being launched by the Palestinian Islamic Jihad. One glaring problem with the footage they shared was the timestamp. The CCTV feed displays a timestamp of 7:59 p.m., which was approximately 1 hour after the impact. The IDF then edited the tweet and removed the attached footage. Other Israeli army-affiliated accounts also began circulating footage which was later debunked and confirmed to be from August 2022. Another Twitter account claimed to be an Al Jazeera journalist at Farida Khan, saying, "I saw with my own eyes it was Hamas, Ayash 250 rocket." This account was then deactivated after it proved to be fake. The Al Jazeera network acted swiftly, releasing this statement on X, formerly known as Twitter. This account has no ties to Al Jazeera, its views, or content. So, what other evidence is there of the explosion? The Israeli army claims footage on Al Jazeera proves the explosion at Al Ahli Arab Hospital was due to a failed rocket launch by Palestinian Islamic Jihad. After analyzing the footage, we can see a rocket being intercepted and breaking apart in midair. Two more explosions follow. The first can be seen in the distance. followed by a second, much larger explosion at Al Ahli Arab Hospital. This was the moment hundreds were killed. Al Jazeera's digital investigation team has dedicated a detailed investigation into the matter. Independent military and weapons experts are still reviewing social media footage and eyewitness accounts. The Israeli army still refuses to let international journalists or independent bodies such as the ICC from entering Gaza to act as independent investigators. The claims and counterclaims continue, and across social media, unverified and misleading assertions have become part of a wider narrative. Much of it confusing and inaccurate, but all of it aimed at assigning blame without the facts to back it up.
And so that was in reference to that investigation, but you watched it, and what they showed was that all those rockets were intercepted, and they showed that it literally broke apart. And Israel was trying to claim that this rocket that broke apart, the shrapnel then landed and blew up this parking lot at this hospital.
Can I do it?
Can you do what?
Fake news. It was fake news.
Right. and it's I don't know. So but they admitted to doing it.
Oh my God.
They admitted to doing it.
And then deleted it.
Yeah. But you see, but the problem is nobody will ever say, but you said you did it. You did it. You said you did it.
Right.
Did you fire that guy? Is he in jail for lying? No, they'll just say, no. And it's more of the pay no attention to the man behind. It's the Wizard of Oz.
Right. It's don't believe the thing we just said because we deleted it because what we said wasn't true. And
that's why it pissed me off so much when John Eccles said, oh, and you deleted your stuff. I was like, I didn't delete anything, John. I deleted nothing.
Oh, the Facebook stuff. Yeah.
John Eccles is a son of a bitch. John Eccles will lie to your face.
So speaking of John Eccles, I still haven't heard back from him. He said
he will lie to your face.
Well, he said he was going to get back to me about coming on the show, and he has not. So
he won't.
Yeah, he ghosted.
I believe he's terming out, isn't he?
Yes, he is.
Yep. He doesn't need you.
Well, he actually brought that up in the text message, talking about I don't have an agenda because I'm terming out, and it is what it is. He's still welcome to come on the show if he wants to talk about legislative stuff.
During the teacher walkout, we met with John Eccles every single day because he was the floor leader or something. Anyway, and I said, John Eccles, we want capital gains. We want capital gains increase as part of the package. And he was like, nope, I promised that I wouldn't bring that to the floor. I said, who did you promise? And he was like, I can't say. So because it pisses me off when people can't say things. Public servants can't say things like, fuck you. I went and I asked every single one of those sons of bitches. I was there every day from 6 o'clock in the morning until 4 o'clock in the afternoon. So I asked every single one of them, did you ask John Eccles not to bring capital gains to the floor? And not a single person even looked at me funny when they said, no, he didn't want capital gains. And then you look at and see how much is John Eccles invested. What is much of his income is capital gains. John Eccles didn't want capital gains.
Okay, I got a little history with Eccles myself, Nadine.
Is he a liar? Is he lie to you?
No, he put the recall bill for school boards
to be able to recall school board members.
Yeah.
Yes.
Did it ever make it out of committee?
No.
Right.
But Ron, I could promise you the moon and the stars, and it never gets out of my committee.
Right.
Guess what?
That's what I'm talking about, Nadine.
Yeah. Was he in charge of the committee? He wasn't, right? The committee that would have come out of?
Yes, he was part of the committee. He wasn't like leadership, but he was part of the committee. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I don't know enough about him or his legislative, acumen, but the guy's been there a while, and, he is the majority floor leader, but
are you going to run for office, Nadine?
No.
Here's the thing. If he told you, Nadine, that, that he couldn't tell you who told him not to bring it out, I don't like that. And this is the reason why we need to pass legislation that forces all communication with our representatives in Oklahoma to be accessible through the public records requests.
100%.
Because then they can't say, well, I can't tell you. That way they have to do some inconvenient things in order to talk to their lobbyists to get.
What about your boy Ryan sending out a prayer that everybody should pray?
Oh my
Go ahead,
God.
Tim. She's talking about you, Tim.
No,
talking about you,
boy.
Ron.
No, that ain't my boy. I never liked the dude. I just don't like people that say they don't want my vote. I'm like, okay,
where's Gina? Yeah, where's Gina?
She actually responded to me once, like recently, last week or something. Yeah, I was like, holy shit.
Ryan Walters is a fascist.
Oh, he's and I wonder, because the people I've talked to that knew him before he, came to the spotlight with Every Kid Counts Oklahoma and the, Secretary of Education or whatever, they said that he was never like that. They're like, I don't understand what the hell this guy is doing. So a lot of it, I think, is performative.
It's performative. He wants to be the Secretary of Education for Donald Trump's second term.
Thank you.
That's probably true.
Tim. I told you this.
Yeah,
I told you.
I never disagreed with it. You could tell he had aspirations, but in the beginning, I couldn't tell if it was him being Stitt's puppet or him having his own aspirations.
You have your computer up. Google Ryan Walters for governor.
No.
Oh God.
Oh yeah. There's a website and a page holder.
That was from no, that was Nate Morris. Somebody else.
Ryan Walters for governor, launching soon, it says.
No, that was
they probably did that to keep him from being able to use that.
Yeah, that's what that is. You know that, Nadine. Don't do that.
That's funny.
Yeah, well, we'll see if he runs for governor.
Yeah, he'll say Ryan Walters for governor too.
No,
me too. Yes,
and I do believe. I will say this. I do believe he wants to be the Betsy DeVos.
Yes, he wants to be the Secretary of Education.
Yeah,
and then he wants to put himself out of business.
Yeah. Oh, Austin Levi. Have you seen that comment, Ron?
No.
I'm not going to put it up there, but
put it up.
No, it's pretty bad.
Is it bad?
Yeah, it's pretty bad. So Lane, can you explain how the teacher walkout was bad for kids?
Kids went to school the same amount of time. They had a 3-week vacation. That's bullshit.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how.
I love you, Nadine.
And I mean, I was all for
the school boards. That was not a strike. All the teachers that were there with the permission and permission of their school boards. My school closed for 3 weeks, and then we extended our calendar by 3 weeks. Nobody missed a day of school.
Yeah, I mean, hell, it barely snows in Oklahoma anymore, anyway. So,
yeah,
but
and you got some shit done,
right? But I honestly think you guys should be paid a hell of a lot more than you're paid. I think 60,000 should be the minimum, because 60,000 in Oklahoma is just enough to get by without worrying about shit. Honestly, I mean that
I don't make 60,000.
Right? No,
I have 12 years of experience here.
That's what I'm saying. The minimum.
How much do you make?
And a master's degree.
Yeah. See, that's. I wouldn't. Gosh. Well, have you thought about going to like college?
No, I mean, because you know why? Because most of the college professors that you get are all adjuncts, and they get paid by the credit.
See, fuck that. Yeah, I've heard that they don't.
You see, it's easy to control an uneducated electorate.
Do they give tenure much anymore? I've heard that they don't.
I'm on a continuing contract. So you have to have a reason to fire me. You can't just fire me like, go away. But your first 3 years, they could just say, we're not renewing your contract. And there's nothing you can do about it. Not a thing.
Oh, I meant for like adjunct professors getting tenure in college. When did that stop?
Well, adjuncts never had tenure. Full professors had tenure, but they don't very, very rarely does a college offer anyone a full professorship.
They used to, though, right?
Yeah,
I
they
mean,
used to.
right. It used to be,
but not anymore.
Yeah, those are more like with doctorates.
That's like the
shit.
golden egg. Like, ooh, I got a full professorship, a tenure track. No, you don't get that.
Yeah, that's.
I'm gonna retire in 7 years and call it all good. And adios. Good luck. Let me know how it works out, Oklahoma. I'm leaving.
Oh man. Well, if something doesn't change, it's not gonna. Oh my God, Austin quit. I don't even know.
Up. I can't see the comments.
Okay, so this one isn't as bad. The other time he used the actual, he didn't say likes.
Oh, come on,
Joe likes,
Austin.
and then yeah, I'm not that's look. Don't be disrespectful to our guests, y'all. I am
gonna tell you something about Joe Biden that has been accused, and it is true. Joe Biden does come up behind you and put his hands on your shoulder and kind of whisper in your ear and say, "Hey, how you doing?" Because when I used to ride the train back and forth to DC to New Jersey when I lived on the East Coast,
Shut the fuck up.
No, I swear to God. Joe Biden used to go home every night. He lived in Delaware. So he would take the Amtrak home. And you get to where you know people's faces. And he would come up behind you, put his hands on your shoulder and say, "How you doing? Haven't seen you in a couple weeks." And it was a little bit creepy until you got used to it.
So that may just be how he is. And
that's how he is to everybody.
See, that is creepy, but
it's very creepy. But you get used to it because that's who he is.
It is creepy, but some people just are touchy like that.
Yes, he's that's how he is. Right. He hugs people. He's a hugger.
Austin wants you to define fascism.
How much time you got? I have a degree in political science. Do you want a whole lecture or just a couple of points?
Give the synopsis version.
No, Nadine.
What?
Have you been touched by Joe Biden?
Yes, absolutely.
Oh my God.
That's awesome. I mean, and creepy.
I have shaken his hand. He has put his hands on my shoulders. He bought me a drink.
Oh wow.
On an Amtrak.
An alcoholic drink
around my fucking neck.
An alcoholic drink?
Yeah, in the bar car on the Amtrak.
Wow.
Oh my God. Are you serious?
Joe Biden used to hold court in the bar car. People would fly, and it would go through the car. It would be like, Joe Biden is in the bar car. Joe Biden's in the bar car. And then people would all go back. Joe Biden was a fun guy to hang out with.
Shut your face.
Based on how his son is, I'm sure he is.
Oh my God, Nadine.
Fascism is not necessarily in this order. Extreme nationalism. Contempt for intellect. It is authoritarianism. It is making people that are enemies, like you're either with us or against us. And that's all I can think of off the top of my head because I'm tired. It's a long day.
Yeah,
it is. Yeah.
And some have argued it's the coupling of corporate powers and government.
Yes, corporate power against unionism, against workers' rights, but all power goes to the corporations. I mean, that's what Republicans are. That's what conservatives are to me. They are leaning fascists.
Here.
It's been that way. Lane, yes. This Austin person is so weird. Yeah, I agree. But I mean, people think we're weird, so it is what it is, I guess. But no, I mean that's a cool story though that you met Joe. Did he stutter a lot when you met him then?
I think the more people that are around and like the more of your audience, the more nervous you get and the more you're likely to stutter and stammer.
Yeah.
But he always has for as long as I can remember. See, being on the East Coast, he was more likely to be on my news than say Jim Langford.
Right.
Up like you would get the senator from Delaware, the senator from Pennsylvania. That I would never get senators from Arizona or California on my news. So
yeah, Lane. Thanks for coming, Lane. I appreciate it. Yeah, I mean he always had a speech impediment.
I met Obama. I met Bill Clinton. I worked for Bill Clinton's campaign.
Are you serious?
Yes.
We're not all perfect.
Tim, we have to do another show with Nadine.
Yeah, do you have stories?
I have a terrible Hillary story.
Oh gosh.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's why I never voted for Hillary. I would never vote for Hillary.
Is there any way we can get you back on to
absolutely
talk about that? Okay, because I didn't vote for Hillary either. I would never have voted for her. She's a horrible person.
Send Tim a pic. so we can do, yes, Tim, you know what
yeah,
I'm
for the
saying?
infograph, I need to pick that you would want, and we'll put it up.
Okay.
And yeah, let's do a show on that. I'm very interested to hear.
And I'll tell you what,
Oh
you
my
want to know
God.
who's the funniest person to hang around with? Tipper
Who?
Gore.
Oh, really?
I
Yeah.
Even in
love
spite of
Tipper.
Have
all
you
of
met
her
Al?
bullshit with music and parental, she was fun. Tipper Gore was fun.
How
With the sister.
how was Al? Have you ever met Al?
Al, here's what Al Gore is. Al Gore is the
Oh my
smartest person
God.
you ever met, who is just awkward because he's just too smart.
Right.
Al Gore has to like dumb down his whole life because he's just too smart for most 99% of people.
Yeah. What do you
Oh
think
my
of
God.
what do you think of RFK?
I think RFK is a lunatic.
Do you?
Yes.
It really upset me whenever he decided to go independent, and now he's talking about reparations for black people, and I think his goal is to take votes from Joe Biden.
Yeah, but taking votes from Joe Biden gets the Republican elected. So shame on him. I mean, hello, was anybody aware of, like, Ralph Nader?
Right, he's Ralph Nader.
Yeah, right, or who was the dude
Ross Perot?
And see,
Ross Perot, yeah.
I've listened to RFK since he was on Air America. He had a show on Air America.
Yeah.
And I've always liked his politics. Now the vaccine stuff, that's where Democrats start to, I'm out, but I've always thought that he was very level-headed and centrist, but then the moment he stepped out and went to independent, I'm like, okay, you're just a fucking asshole.
Yeah, see, once he started with the vaccine thing, that makes me, that pisses me off.
Yeah, well,
are you vaccinated?
I'm vaccinated.
I'm not
for all the things. What polio.
I got vaccinated when I got COVID.
Are you vaccinated for COVID?
I have 6 COVID vaccines, and I've never had COVID.
Off, Nadine, you can't be vaccinated for COVID.
I am vaccinated for COVID 6 times, and I've never gotten COVID, not one.
And no growth.
And I worked through COVID in a school.
So you didn't get like another arm with fingers?
No, and I don't pick up radio signals.
I was gonna say,
and I don't have blood clots pouring out of my face, and I'm not having a heart attack, and I'm not dying
yet.
Like spoons don't stick to your arm and shit.
Nope.
Are you can't turn on the TV by
I
blinking
can't.
like
and
this?
sometimes I even have to get new batteries for my remote control.
Interesting. So are you telling me that some of this stuff wasn't true?
Some of it was a lie, Tim. Some of it was just a lie.
But
they made it up.
I knew I should have tuned into Al Jazeera.
Yeah,
they would have told me the truth.
Oh my God, we are all born from the same people. Oh my God.
Well, Nadine, let me work that out with you on a date. I'm gonna get off here so I can spend what little time left in the night with my wife. So I'll hit you up afterward.
All right.
We have to have Nadine on the show.
Yeah, absolutely.
I love to be on the show.
Yeah, no, and we love to have you. We appreciate your insight.
You could be the liberal. I could be the ultra liberal.
The ultra, there you go. The more liberal loudmouth.
The more liberal. The most liberal.
The most liberal.
That's what people say. Okay. What's your political leaning? I always say, I'm as liberal as you can be without being a communist.
Oh, and me and Nadine, we cuss each other out all the time.
That's funny.
Because we don't agree.
I'm not a communist, but I'm right there. I'm right next to it.
I mean, I'm a Bernie socialist.
I love Bernie. I have Bernie. Here, look, Bernie. I'll show you. I have Bernie tattooed on my leg.
Oh, that's amazing.
Face
that's
right
awesome. That's awesome. Nice. Oh, I love it. That's awesome.
I wanted it known for all of humanity that I was on the right side of that election.
Yeah.
I gotta go get a Ronald Reagan tattoo on my fucking arm.
We're Bernie bros.
Ronald Reagan. Oh, yes. Don't even get me started. Fucking Ronald Reagan.
Wait till we do this show, Tim. Oh my God,
yeah.
It's so good.
Yeah, it's gonna be good. But yeah, I'm gonna jet. Me and Ron are gonna end the show here after you hop off, and I will catch you in Messenger probably in the morning or so.
Absolutely.
All right.
Adios.
We'll talk to you later. Thanks, Nadine.
Nadine. Love you.
All right. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Oh, I love Nadine. Even though she's so wrong, I love her.
No, she's definitely the Egypt thing. I didn't know about that.
I didn't either. Yeah.
That's wow. And
she's so
the government
so
does not. Yeah, and nobody says that. Okay, we're going to give $4 billion to Israel. Nobody says, oh, and we're also giving $4 billion to Egypt.
Right. I did not know that.
Wow. Hell, we may be sustaining their entire fucking economy.
Probably.
Thanks, Jimmy. Wow.
God,
that's insane.
I did not know that.
Yeah, I didn't either. Well, do you have anything else, Ron? Because I'm gonna hop off here and go say hi to the wife and do my thing.
No, I'm good. I'm good.
All right, man. Well, guys, next time we're gonna try to schedule another event like we did tonight, so that we can just invite you to the event and go that route. I think it may work out a little better.
Page that you just created.
Oh, yeah. So on Facebook, I created so that you can get updates, because I just can't stop paying attention to this.
So many pages. Yeah.
Yeah. This one is Road to World War III. Let me pull it up and link it. If you don't want to spend time figuring things out and what's going on, just go to that page, like and follow it. And I mean, I've got a few of us on there, and we're just posting content about what's happening, updates, that sort of thing. You don't have to comment. It's just for information, really. I mean, you can comment if you want to, but and Austin Levi, look at this. He says, I'm gonna touch you. No, he's like, it's because you're not a little kid. This has got to be,
dude.
I don't know, man. Somebody trolling. It's probably a new Facebook page somebody just created. Lane, get to bed.
Yeah, it's your bedtime.
Lane. All right, everybody. Thank you for showing up. We appreciate it. We didn't really learn anything other than Joe Biden wants to ride the fence here and get money from a Congress that he can't get money from.
Right.
Because Congress it doesn't exist at this moment without the speaker.
Yeah.
So good luck with that, y'all. Anyway, all right, that's it for today. We'll see y'all next time.
See ya.
Peace.